Hey everybody, it's Master Galengeist here, bringing you my review of the pilot episode of Preacher. So, I didn't know much about the comic book going into this show, so all this kind of stuff is kind of new to me. But other than that, I kind of like this. I don't know if I'm going to keep going on this series though, because the beginning of the episode is really kind of all over the place, and there's some strangeness with how characters speak that make it kind of hard for them to understand. You've almost always got to have subtitles on. I don't know if it's because of the accent that they've chosen or like audio mixing in the actual thing, but it kind of affects what you hear from the characters and kind of what's going on. It kind of adds to some confusion. But overall, it's got an interesting vibe of anything can kind of happen to a degree, which I know there's shows that have that on, but it's so kind of weird and kind of out there when it's shown that you really don't know what to expect. And it's kind of cool, but then again, you're left there wondering, I don't know what's happening. So it kind of starts with a shot from outer space, and then you see something happen, and something streak towards Earth and go towards Africa. And this guy's giving this sermon and everything, getting all into it and everything. And out of nowhere, this thing from outer space comes in and gets, I don't know, like into him, like kind of trying to possess him or something. I don't know. But he like comes up, he's like, yeah, I'm the prophet and everything. And then he blows up. And the effects on that were pretty darn good. And it was just like, holy shit, what's going on? And then it kind of goes on from there. It then goes to Texas with kind of this preacher guy. And you don't learn his name until kind of later, but it's Jesse Custer. And he's evidently been not that good of a person, doing kind of like bad things and all that. But he's come back to his hometown to be the preacher, kind of lead people, and kind of honor a promise to his father that we've seen in flashbacks. And it's interesting. I really like him as a character. He's got a cool kind of style about him. He's really interesting. I really want to know more about him. Then you're talking more about the like congregation and everything. There's not much of them. There's this one dude who's always annoyed by his mother, which then in turn makes him want to annoy pretty much the preacher. Like, it's crazy. And we also get this other Irish character, I think. I think his name's Cassidy. And I don't know what the hell. That shift to that was kind of weird. And then he's in an airplane doing all this stuff with what you think are businessmen. He goes to the restroom, sees weird things in a Bible, comes out and they all try and kill him. And he does this sweet, awesome action scene with them, kills everybody on the plane, and then jumps out. And it's not clear what he is because they dumped holy water on him and it didn't affect him. But he's like, you're taking me into something. Fuck you. And then he Mary Poppins his way out of the plane. He like gets a bottle of like blood, gets an umbrella, and throws himself out the plane. Which then we see he's got a crater. The thing's trying to like protect him, I think, from the sun, and he eats a cow, and it gets really weird. And then it also kind of jumps to this one lady who's being chased by these people, and she holds up in this farmhouse and somehow makes a makeshift bazooka. And then the kids like helped her make it. And then they're in the basement and they hear all this shit going on. She'd evidently taken out a helicopter with a handmade bazooka with toy fucking soldiers as the ammo. It starts getting weird. And it's like, what the hell's going on? Then it's like going back. It's kind of more stays in the preacher's town. And you start hearing weird things like this Russian minister blew up. Tom Cruise blew up. That was funny. That was out of nowhere. It's like Scientology. Tom Cruise spontaneously exploded today. It's like, okay, I didn't expect it, but I like the twist. And then that's while the Jesse is at a bar and he had looked into the case that this kid had brought up to him that his father was abusing his mother. And he went to the mother, but she said that she kind of liked it. And then after a reenactment, the father came in, started giving shit, and started punching him. And then he beat the shit out of all of them and broke the dude's hand, and that was freaking awesome. And it's weird because Jesse gets arrested understandably for the assault, but the vampire dude is in the bar now and like kicked one chair into one person and that somehow makes him an accessory. I'm like, he gets arrested too. I'm like, what the fuck? And I think it's something with like the audio quality because I like the people's accents, but it's sometimes so thick that it's really hard to understand them. Like the lady and Cassidy. I'm pretty sure he's a vampire because they showed his hand catching on fire in the sun. But he was pretty much in the sun in the plane and should have just went, what? I don't know. Then Jesse is by himself getting ready to pretty much quit being the preacher of the town because he doesn't like it. And he doesn't think he's doing a good job. When the entity which has been running around blowing people up goes into him, and evidently he doesn't blow up. He's got a fever and out for like 3 days, but he's back and he commands this one dude to open his heart to his mother, and the dude drives down to Florida, tells her everything, and it cuts his heart out. It was like, what? It's crazy. And evidently these two people are trying to follow this entity or whatnot, because they always show up, and then they show up in the town, and the preacher's giving his sermon saying, you know what, I'm gonna be a better preacher for you. And we see this one kid that he was talking with, he's got a disfigured face, Eugene, because he had attempted suicide, but he was really helpful to him as a preacher. And it really showed promise for the character that he's got good and bad, which I think is kind of what the entity was going for. But I don't know. It was making baby noises and stuff. It's really strange. It's got nice visual appeal and everything. I like the motifs and everything. It's just, this one was like all over the place. And I think could have dealt better with a more kind of structured approach and kind of a better entry point into the kind of world that they're making. I don't think it's bad, but it needs to be more structured going on in the future, I think. And other than that, I thought it's an interesting show that could have promise, but they need to work on like the audio or whatnot because it's really hard to understand certain characters because they either talk too fast or too low or the accent really obscures kind of what they're trying to say. Not saying you shouldn't have accents, but it's kind of like a trifecta that you're like, I don't know what's going on, and I don't already know what's going on. But overall, I think it should be an interesting show. We'll have to see what happens. So, that's my opinion on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.